The greatest woman I ever knew was my aunt, Claire Lyons Callahan. In her lifetime, she dedicated herself to God and those who were very poor or uneducated or addicted to drugs and alcohol. For the first half of her life, she worked as a Roman Catholic nun and was educated through them to become a teacher. She taught all over the world. The ambassador from Ireland reached out to her at one point, and she was the first person to go to Ireland to teach them about addiction in families and to set up a whole structure for their government on drugs and alcohol. And she also was a Fulbright scholarship recipient and went to France. So she was extraordinarily bright and well liked. However, if you asked my aunt what her favorite assignment was, she would tell you that it was when she worked with the underprivileged children at Hell's Kitchen in New York City. She loved these kids and her heart just went out to them. Yet she was strict with them and expected a lot. She didn't feel bad for them in the way that she dumbed down the lesson plan. So when the kids came in the morning, she would meet each kid and take their hands and look them in the eye and ask them how they were and ask them if they had breakfast. If they hadn't had breakfast, she would give them something to eat and also provided them with clothing in the wintertime. A lot of them came inappropriately dressed. And lastly, about Hell's Kitchen, she would walk them outside at the end of the day where there were gangs, there was violence, you could often hear gunshots, and she'd watch them walk down the street. And if anyone approached them, a gang member or somebody who was selling drugs, she would scream at that person to leave her kids alone. And the visual is that she has this old-fashioned nun outfit on, so the habit, it's just completely covering her but her face. So she was a really strong woman also. Her family was something that she cherished. She never had any children. She got married when she left the order and married my uncle Jim Callahan, who was a priest. And they met at a retreat center outside of the church that dealt with letting them get back to a regular civilian life. And they fell in love and they were married for 46 years. So she actually had a dual life. She had the nun and then the regular civilian life. So she really was enriched. Her faith was very important to her. Her family, when they moved from Washington, D.C. to Massachusetts, we were thrilled. Unfortunately, she was sick, and that was about 13 years ago. So we got a chance to really care for her and get to know her. And, you know, if you met her, you would sit with her and she would make you feel like you were the only person in the room and gave you so much confidence and love. It was just unbelievable. She was just really my favorite person in the world and really more like a mother to me than an aunt. She's the reason I went back to college. She convinced me after many years that I was smart enough to go. And she was right. I'm doing great. So in the conclusion, I'd like to say that it was a gift to have her in my life. And I know I'm blessed. And I know that all the people that she touched throughout her life feel the same.